And you don't know, you can't tell this jury, for instance, how much money was promised to Mr. Davis as a result.
No, I can only guess because I handed him a check at one point, or various checks at some point, and I don't, I think I remember the installments were like in the 5,000s or something. But I'm just not sure.
And so
you wrong, dude.
Represented to the jury before on the state's direct that you believe there was one check.
Oh, God, he called him a liar.
Checks, multiple checks, right?
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
You may proceed, Mr. Duane. Sorry, may I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Do you want me to stand up?
He's standing when he does that part. Sorry.
Mario Diaz.
And may I have you spell it?
Oh, Mario Diaz. D as in David, IAZ.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. Now your turn. Good job.
Thank you. Mr. Diaz, what do you do for a living?
I'm a filmmaker. I direct documentaries, and I'm also a showrunner for documentaries and documentary series.
What does a showrunner mean?
I'm basically the person in charge of all of the creative. I put together essentially the series from a creative standpoint, and I also, make sure that all of the logistics of filming and editing the piece, just everything runs by me, through me.
At some point, are you contacted by a company to create a documentary related to Death Row Records and the story of its rise and its ultimate fall?
Yes. As I remember, my agent at the time called me and told me that there was an opening for a job directing a 6-part series about Death Row Records for a company called E1. Actually, technically, it was for Creature Films, which is a subsidiary of E1. And so I went and interviewed for it, I think, a couple of times, and I got it.
Prior to you becoming involved in, you got the job. So prior to you getting the job, had E1 contracted with anyone to assist in that documentary?
Yes. Before I came on, there were 2 consultants that were hired. Greg Kading, who's a former LAPD detective, and Mike Dorsey, who is also a documentarian, who has been following this case for a while. The defendant was also on board, I was told, and so was Suge Knight. They had agreed to participate.
And you kind of motioned in this direction. Do you know the defendant, Duane Davis?
Yes.
And you recognize him here in court?
Yes.
I didn't make you go through all this. Is it this gentleman right here?
Yes.
Does the record reflect the identification of the defendant, Judge?
Yes.
Once you actually took over the job, did you learn whether or not the defendant was being compensated for his role in participating in this documentary?
I was made aware that he was being paid, yes.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, who's the person who finally provided him the money?
I was not in charge of the money per se. Somebody else was cutting checks. There was some, there's usually a protocol for that. And so I don't remember exactly who it was. I know that I, at one point, actually handed him a check.
That was my question.
Yes, yeah.
You're the one.
Somebody gave it to me, and I made that handoff.
I know it's been some years now. Can you give us an approximate amount of money Mr. Davis was compensated for his participation?
I don't remember the exact amount at all, but anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, I would imagine.
And for that compensation, did you conduct interviews on camera with Mr. Davis?
Yes.
And how many formal interviews did you conduct with Mr. Davis?
We did 2 interviews in the summer of 2017. I believe that they were maybe weeks apart from each other, and they were probably around 2 hours and change each.
And there would have been a camera rolling.
Okay, so this is the BET interview. Okay, so it looks like this is the first documentary that came out around the time that the book was published. I think this was published in 2018, so it was around the same time. So Keefe D was getting money from BET for this documentary, but it seems like this is the first one. I'll give you guys some more details on this because I just got contacted on a separate case by ABC to do a documentary. And I'll give you some details on the context, how that all works. But let's go back on in. Just wanted to let you know who we have on the stand.
For the interview. Well, let's talk about the setup. Describe for me how you had this set up for the interviews.
We maybe did, 30, 35 interviews for the entire series. We're filling up 6 hours of material for broadcast. So we did upwards of 30 interviews, and we mostly did them in a studio that the production company E1 had in the building. And we asked Mr. Davis to come to our building. We set up 2 cameras, and he basically sat across from me, and I, asked questions.
Did you have anybody did you have a subject matter expert as well that you were able to communicate with during the interview?
So yes, the aforementioned Mike Dorsey was there during the interview. He wasn't in the room; he was in a separate room, and I had him in my ear. So he would sometimes, we would communicate. I would sometimes text while the interview was happening, just to corroborate certain things that Mr. Davis was saying.
And Mr. Dorsey, did he have the ability to hear what was going on inside the room?
Yes. Yeah. He had his own little speaker setup.
And did you subsequently learn that he had his own recordings of your interviews that were audio only?
Yes.
At some point, you wind up making this documentary. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Now, to promote this documentary, let me ask you this. Do you know what a sizzle reel is?
Correct. Yes.
What is a sizzle reel?
Well, a sizzle reel is traditionally used we put together like a little trailer of sorts with existing materials about whatever the subject matter is. And that sizzle reel is used to entice buyers to essentially pay for the production of the series or whatever it may be, documentary, one-off. So in this case, there was a sizzle reel made.
And did that sizzle reel get made prior to your involvement?
I believe so, yes.
And you, obviously, once you became involved, did you wind up using some of that sizzle reel to kind of promote each episode of the Death Row?
I don't remember that we did that. It was only used for it was used by the producers to drum up interest in the series.
Last night, did you meet with me?
I did.
And did you watch the sizzle reel?
Yes.
Judge, I have the sizzle reel marked as state proposed exhibit 120. I would offer it at this point.
Any objection, Mr. Smith?
No objection, Your Honor.
It'll be a minute.
You can switch it on to me.
I'm Duane, Keefe D days. I was a confident, kingpin drug dealer. I'm the only one alive that really can tell you the story about the Tupac Shakur. People have been pursuing me for 20 years. Newspapers, magazines. I'm coming out now to tell the story because I got cancer. I got nothing else to lose. All I care about now is the truth. This story starts in the streets of Compton, all the way to the streets of Las Vegas. Tupac was killed that night. All the people that was in Vegas that weekend, it's like a curse. Everybody is dead. or I got life in prison. It was a crazy night, and I was a witness to everything that happened. And it will surprise you the truth I got to tell you. It's a
I hope I don't get a copyright strike for that.
Episodes of Death Row Chronicles did you, I guess, who named it Death Row Chronicles?
I think I did.
Okay. So the documentary you wound up creating was Death Row Chronicles.
Yes.
And did it air on a station?
Yeah, it was on BET.
And BET is a network.
Yes. Black Entertainment Television.
And how many episodes ran?
We did 6 episodes, roughly an hour each.
And prior to episode 5, is there any audio or video that was produced or shown to the public of Mr. Davis?
I think he's in it very briefly in a little promo that we show at the very beginning of the series, perhaps. I don't remember exactly. And he was also there to talk a little bit about Shook. They grew up together.
Do you, when you get to episode 5, is that the point where you're about to tell, I guess episode 6, is that when you tell the story of?
Right. So the series really looks at the entirety of Death Row Records history, from the very beginning with Suge Knight. We introduce, different characters, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, et cetera. And then when we get to episode 5, we really delve into, a little bit in episode 5, but mostly in episode 6, we really delve into the investigation. We wanted to update the public as to where the investigation had been up to that point.
And within those episode 5 and episode 6, is Mr. Davis seen or some of his interviews with you released to the public?
Yes.
In addition to the fact that Mr. Davis is on there, did you have access to the 2008 Proffer recording?
I did.
And so when you produced episode, in particular 6, are there times when Mr. Davis is on the screen and other times when you're using the Proffer to tell the story?
Yes. Yeah, we alternated between the interview that I conducted with him and the audio from the Proffer that he did in 2008.
Judge, I have marked as State's Proposed Exhibit number 123 just the clips that involve Mr. Davis, either face or voice, from episodes 5 and episode 6.
Okay.
I'd offer those at this time.
Any objection?
Any other questions?
You may.
All right, so they're going to approach on that. Let me see if I have a bit of TiVo time.
So I'm just going to go through these with you. I'm going to start in episode 105. And you can see that generally at the bottom there's a timestamp there of when in the recording. Maybe I should back up. This was released when?
2018.
Yes. And shortly thereafter, are you contacted by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department asking for the raw footage?
Yes.
At that point, were you able to provide the raw footage?
No.
Did you become aware that that the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department was only provided what was publicly released in 2018?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's your response?
I'll ask it a different way.
Okay.
What was the only thing BET was willing to give us?
What was aired publicly.
And so now I want to go through episode 5 and episode 6 with you. So the first one.
Did you hear someone say words to the effect of, "Hey man, let's get out of here"?
No.
I seen him pulling people off of me. That's all I see.
Orlando testified on Shook's behalf. Why'd he do that?
He paid it off. Paid us off. He gave up $60,000 to say that he didn't do anything. But it didn't work because the next day the judge said, I can see him kick you in the head right fucking now.
So Mr. Davis told you a story about Mr. Anderson's Mr. Anderson at Suge Knight's probation violation hearing.
Yes.
And then the next clip.
Why are you now telling me what you're telling me?
Because I wanted to get the truth out.
Now in that clip, he's not in a studio. Where are you guys?
Here in Las Vegas.
And that is, well, why were you here in Las Vegas?
We thought it would be interesting to film him where the shooting occurred so that he could walk us through it at the actual site.
Now I'm going to go to episode 6. And I'm just going to go with these each in order.
Now, I feel I still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
So in this video, you can see Mr. Davis walking, but is that him actually speaking to you, or is that cut in from the 2008 Proffer?
I believe that's the 2000.
Want me to play it again?
Yes. I probably can tell by
Now, I feel I still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
That's from the interview with me.
When you say the interview with you, the sound is not the same as when he's walking down the street.
Correct.
I guess you should ask that question.
Yes, correct. So he's there. It's like a little preview, but you're going to get later, essentially. So we keep it's just his feet to create a sense of mystery. The audio comes from the actual interview that I conducted.
In 2017.
Correct.
And the last living eyewitness to Tupac's murder is telling his story.
Why are you now telling me what you're telling me?
Because I wanted to get the truth out. You ready?
That's clearly in the studio, both with the two different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Is it the same studio?
Yeah.
Is it the same interview?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I can tell you why we did that technically, but it'll bore you.
The two different backgrounds?
Yeah.
The very next one.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Well, they've been sweating me for the last 20-some years, ever since that day that shit happened. Every other month, they was up there saying, just a rapper killer, you know what I'm saying? I just been targeted. Just been on my ass ever since. Nobody trusts me.
Why don't they trust you? Because they think you snitched?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's all studio.
Yes, correct.
Okay, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Well, they've been sweating me for the last 20-some years, ever since that day that shit happened. Every other month, they was up there saying, just a rapper killer, you know what I'm saying? I just been targeted. Just been on my ass ever since. Nobody trusts me.
Why don't they trust you? Because they think you snitched?
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Today's report is specifically on Tupac Las Vegas incident.
All right. Now, I feel I still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
What is said right here cannot be used against you.
So in this clip, it's sort of the last clip, but now you've led into and cut some of the proffering.
Correct. Yes. This is where we first introduce it.
ready.
Okay. Today's report is specifically on Tupac Las Vegas incident.
All right. Now, well, I feel I can still go to jail with that, man. Because this is federal.
What is said right here cannot be used against you.
And so I'm getting the sense here that before commercial, you kind of lead off, and with commercial, you remind people what they just saw.
Yes.
Next one.
Don't bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That one's completely the
Don't
problem.
bullshit me, and I won't bullshit y'all.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's the Proffer. We tried to identify it up top so that people would know the difference.
Yeah, you guys are all at the MGM. You guys go to the fight. So lead us through it from there.
We went to eat, and we was at the MGM at a restaurant. Zips, some of my homeboys from East Coast Crips came in there and said, Death Row dude, Suge dude just jumped on your nephew.
That's a combination of both.
Correct.
I forgot to ask this question. You said you were there. You said Mike Dorsey was there. You said Duane Davis was there. Is there any other person in that room as well?
Mr. Davis brought his lawyer,
You remember his name?
Wayne Higgins.
So he had a lawyer with him while doing this with you.
Yes.
And no, I can't remember. It's this one.
Went to the parking lot. Me and Zip was together.
Zip, Eric Martin.
For the most part, although I think you hear Greg Kading's voice. Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's Mr. Davis himself in the interview.
When they asked, do we need some help? I got some gym to do. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
All right. Where does he get the gun from in the car?
A little secret compartment.
Was it a Glock?
Zip pulls out.
That flashed up on Greg Kading's face. And do you recognize the person that's depicted in the photograph now here in front of you?
Eric Martin.
Eric Martin. It says AKA Equan Williams. People refer to him in this case as Zip or Von Zip.
Yeah.
Our homie said Death Row guys were going to have a concert at the 662 Club. So we went to the 662 Club.
I ran the door at the 662.
I guess we caught a little bit of Mob James there.
Tupac and Shook, they didn't ever show up. So we left.
That's in studio.
Yes.
Stopped and got some liquor. We was gonna party and shit. Other little drinks.
Meanwhile, Tupac and Suge are driving.
Also in studio.
We came up Harlem and shit. Here he coming at BMW. All the chicks was like, Tupac. And he was like, hey, like a celebrity, like he was in the parade. He wouldn't even been out the window. We would have never seen him. My partner busted you. When we pulled up, I was in the front seat. Happened to see my friend, Chubb.
Shug looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot Tupac?
They keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the back seat, bro.
That's a mixture of both.
It's a combination. I mean, honestly, what's your concern revealing who shot Tupac?
That's my concern.
Yeah.
I don't have no concern. I just won't be saying I'm no fucking rat.
Studio interview.
Then Dre was like, no. And Lane's like, dude.
Obviously the Proffer.
Yes.
I think we only get a few more left down here.
Went in the back of the hotel called a carriage house. Got up out of the car.
I think that's the studio interview.
You have some graphics going on, but that's him in the studio speaking.
Correct.
They pulled up in the ambulance while we was standing right there. That shit was funny as a fuck.
That's the Proffer.
And then the last one.
And his impression is that this guy had it coming.
I'm here, Cobalt, Flamingo, and this was the spot to change my life forever. September 7th, 1996, the night of the Mike Tyson fight. Tupac jumped on my nephew. Shit went down. My nephew was young, 20 years old. He didn't do nothing to you, you know. He didn't do nothing to you. Tupac shut up, kept his hands to himself.
So that's a combination of the material we shot here in Vegas with the studio interview.
Sometime after the indictment in this particular case, is there a position change by the people who controlled the raw footage and intellectual property to what Mr. Davis said?
Yes, both the production company and the network, I think, agreed to provide it.
And were you at all involved in the reasons why they decided to provide it?
I think I lobbied a little bit, but Mike Dorsey lobbied a lot stronger to get it released.
Was there any particular position that Mr. Davis was taken that caused you, Mike Dorsey, as well as the company to change their minds?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we heard that he said that this was just for show, that he was getting paid, this was Hollywood, this was all just, show business.
The term scripted came up as well. Was your show scripted at all?
No, and I pride myself in making sure that my work meets the strictest journalistic standards. I did not coach him in any way. We had meetings where I generally, very brief meetings when he was in the office, where I generally told him sort of where I was going with my questioning, but there was no coaching, no coercion, nothing of the sort. It was nothing was predetermined. I never provided questions ahead of time either.
And once you became involved, obviously there are other people you guys wind up interviewing that aren't Shug or Mr. Davis or Mr. Kading or Mr. Dorsey.
Sure.
And any of those people, were they compensated for their participation?
We're not.
So once you came on board, everybody else was uncompensated.
Correct.
Did there come a point in time where you were able to provide a transcript of the actual tapes that were the video tapes of your interviews of Mr. Davis?
Yes. I was contacted by Detective Mon And is that his last name?
Bob?
Yes. Suddenly had a, and we talked for a bit, and he took a statement, and I then provided the transcripts to him of both of the sit-down interviews.
And I'm going to show you something just for identification purposes, but I'm going to show you state's proposed exhibit number 113 and 114. Do you recognize at least the first page of those particular transcripts?
Yes.
And those look like the way your transcripts were provided to us.
Yeah.
During the course of this, were you able ever to get, or was E1 Entertainment ever able to get us the tapes themselves, the raw footage?
They did not, and I wasn't really privy to that process, but I think that they could not find them. It was what I was told, or maybe they didn't try hard enough to find them. Not sure.
Were you aware that Mr. Dorsey was able to give us the audio copies that he had?
Yes.
And were you aware that there are small sections of the tape that are on the transcripts that aren't on his audio, but he also has things on his audio that weren't captured because the camera wasn't running?
Correct. Yeah. When we would break for a break or something, or for lunch, he would continue recording.
I passed the witness, Judge.
Okay, cross-examination, Mr. Sant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, here comes Cross, Keefe D's lawyer.
Mr. Diaz, good morning.
Good morning.
Have you ever testified in a criminal case before?
First time.
Congratulations. I would imagine it's a little bit of an experience for you. Let me ask you these questions real quick. So in terms of what you do for work, you are a producer or a director?
I'm a showrunner, is the technical term. I basically run the entire production.
Right. And obviously when we say production, it's something that would be considered maybe geared towards entertainment value, right?
Yes.
Now, in your career as and is it considered Hollywood what you do?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of what you do, for instance, have you ever had to take a deposition before?
No.
All right. And in terms of what we're looking at here on this particular night, you were the director and the producer of this particular project?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were working for not Entertainment One, but for another company that was a subsidiary of Entertainment One?
Creature Films.
Okay, Creature Films. Now, your testimony to us is that, hey, I'm just there. Duane Davis shows up for the interview. Is that right?
Yes.
Who reached out to him from your company to do the interview?
I'm not quite sure who did the initial reach out.
Just want to make sure I'm clear here. In terms of your work was just only to ask the questions and sort of verify the information that you had prior to the interview with Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, yes. I was there to ask the questions, make sure I got the material in order to build the series.
Right. And with what you were doing, though, obviously there would have been a team of people with you, right?
Yes.
Now, the series itself, there's an individual that's named in your series by the name of Greg Keefe.
Yes.
Who was he?
Well, I mentioned him earlier. He's a Los Angeles police detective, and he was a consultant on the project.
Right, so his name is actually...
A paid consultant.
I'm sorry?
A paid consultant.
Right, so his name was one of the credits that was in when you do your credit.
Yeah, at the end, yes, sir.
Now, in addition to that, you had mentioned a man by the name of Mike Dorsey.
Correct.
And Mike Dorsey was also somebody who was what exactly?
A consultant.
He was a consultant.
Yes.
And as far as you know, the two of them, Mike Dorsey and Greg Keefe, helped to write a book.
Yes.
And what was the name of the book?
Murder Rap.
All right. Did you read that book?
I did.
You want to make a approach?
Sure.
Showing you what's been marked as proposed defense exhibit D as in David. Do you recognize this photograph?
Mhm.
And what is that?
Cover of the book.
Okay, great. Your Honor, this time I'd like to move for the admission of defense exhibit D as in David.
Any objection, state?
No objection.
For a minute.
May you publish for the jury?
You may.
That's the book, correct? Or at least the cover of the book.
The cover, yeah.
Right. And I appreciate you being specific about this. Now, fair to say though that the book was really sort of the core of what you were doing in terms of the information you received, right?
So we had both Kading and Dorsey as consultants, but I also interviewed other authors who also wrote books, and I read those books as well. So
Great.
It wasn't in other words, this was not my only source.
Okay. And so can you tell us who your other sources were that you read to help you with your
I think there's a book, it was the first one I read called Original Gangsters, which was written by Ben Westhoff, I believe. And then there was another book, and I'm not going to remember the title, by a woman called Cassie. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
A very seminal book about.
You gonna make
About West Coast rap and gangster rules.
Yeah, you can move freely.
I'm showing you what's been marked as proposed defense exhibit E as in Edward. Do you recognize that photograph?
Kathy, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that a picture of the cover of the book by Kathy Scott?
It looks like it. I don't remember what the cover looks like, but
Sure.
yes. Seems accurate enough.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to move for the admission of defense exhibit E as in Edward.
Any objection, state? What was that?
No objection.
Okay, so a minute. Sorry, I just didn't hear.
Publishing for the jury. Is that the picture, or is that the book? What other books did you review prior to your documentary?
This is the only three I remember.
Okay. Now, fair to say, of course, that you're in the business of drawing people to your work, right? You want people to purchase your work, view your work. Is that right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms
I'm
of...
not in the. I'm sorry. Can I amend that?
Sure.
I'm not in the business of drawing people to my work. I'm in the business of creating compelling television or television programming or films.
Okay, so
It's a different standard.
can you explain to me what the difference in standards are?
I don't do. Okay, so the best distinction I can draw is like I don't necessarily do reality television, where it's just it's somewhat manufactured. It's bombastic. It's anything goes. I make documentaries which are traditionally. I'm out there trying to get to the truth of something.
So,
And that truth, I believe, is compelling enough to draw an audience.
So in terms of the direction that you have in with the project, in this particular case, there was a direction, right? The direction was we're here to document the rise and fall of the death row record label, right?
Absolutely.
And in terms of how Mr. Davis would fit into the idea behind it, is that it's with the death of Tupac Shakur and the shooting of Marion Chignon.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of what you were doing, though, fair to say that you had a direction. This is where you wanted to go with the project, right?
It's an important element of the story, but
Right.
it's not my final destination. My final destination is revealing the entire story of Death Row Records, which includes this unfortunate chapter.
Sure. And you want to be accurate about what you're presenting in your presentation.
Yeah, to the best of my ability.
Right. And so in this case, you turn to Greg Kading and this other person, I'm sorry, what was his name again?
Mike Dorsey.
Mike Dorsey, for their verification of what was accurate and what was not, right?
Yes.
Now, do you recall a person by the name of Tara Long?
Yes.
Who's Tara?
Tara was the head of E1 at the time.
Okay. And she was involved with the project on some level, right?
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, I think she was maybe pivotal in bringing Keefe in. And I'm not sure how Greg and Dorsey came, but maybe through her, maybe through Creature. But again, they were there before it came on.
Sure. And in terms of Tara's participation, can you tell the jury what contract was set up between Duane Davis and the company?
I cannot. I don't know what the details of the contract are.
So you never saw the contract?
No.
And you don't know, you can't tell this jury, for instance, how much money was promised to Mr. Davis as a result?
No, I can only guess because I handed him a check at one point, or various checks at some point, and I don't, I think I remember the installments were like in the 5,000s or something. But
Right.
I'm just not sure.
And so
You wrong, dude.
represented to the jury before on the state's direct that you believe there was one check.
Oh,
and now you're
God, he called him a liar.
installments of checks, multiple checks, right?
It could be, yes.
And the person that would have the most information about something like this would be Tara Long, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, the terms of the agreement was that he was going to come in, give his interview, and then leave, right?
I'm not sure what was agreed upon.
Now, you did how many interviews with him?
2.
Why?
2 and the one in Vegas.
Right, but the 2 that were in studio, why did you do 2?
As I recall, he came in to do 1, and he was not dressed for the interview appropriately. I think he came in shorts and a T-shirt or something like that. And I thought that he was going to back out, so I asked him to sit down so that we can go through some of the questions. And so we did. And then he ultimately decided to leave and then chose to come back in a suit and tie. And that's actually the interview that you see the most.
I see. So what he came back in is what was basically requested of him to do, is to dress a little bit better than what he dressed that day.
Yeah, although I think that was his idea to dress better.
Now, in terms of the first interview, you
You
have
lying, dude. You wrong, dude.
I don't have a recording. I have a transcript.
Okay. Is that the transcript that was referred to earlier? Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
Now, that's all right. And now in terms of your recollection is the next day you come back and you have the interview with Mr. Davis, the one that we're seeing snippets of right now?
I'm not sure if it was the next day, but it was sometime after.
Now, in your presentation, obviously, there is a lot of, I don't know what you would call it in Hollywood, like tones, ominous tones, as, Mr. Davis is walking down the street. That's obviously for some type of cinematic effect, right?
Yeah, we're underscoring the drama of it.
Right, and it's just to sort of build up an interest in whatever that scene is.
Right.
Okay, so the view of Mr. Davis walking, can you tell us where he was walking and why he was walking in the direction that he was being filmed?
The one in Vegas, you mean?
Yeah.
He says it on the clip. He was at Koval and Flamingo, and he was there to kind of walk us through what happened that night.
Okay. In terms of walking us through, for instance, do you film him being exactly in the lane, pointing to the other lane and saying, this is the lane where this happened, this is the lane where these women were, or anything like that? Do you have that?
Don't remember exactly.
So he's standing on the corner of Koval and Flamingo on some corner saying, this is where my life changed.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
Right? But in terms of specifics of where it was that everyone was located on the street, did you film him pointing to exactly where this was, exactly where that was, here I was there?
I think we did.
Okay, and that would be in.
I don't have that. I don't think we have that transcript.
Okay, and once again, you don't have the transcript. You think you did, but as you're sitting here right now for this jury, you can't show that, right?
I can't show it, and I'm not entirely certain. But I would think that if I brought him there, it would be more than just to appear on camera for 30 seconds and say my life was changed.
Sure.
And I do recall being there for much longer than that.
Okay. And once again, it should be captured on film somewhere if it's from you guys. Okay, but it's not here today.
No.
Now, in addition to that, your testimony is that you had there were parts of the video that shows like I guess there was like a Proffer version. You said there was a Proffer and there was a guy with a beard. Is that in the Proffer?
There was a guy with a beard?
Yeah, there was. I saw a snippet. And it was as a glance, but it was a guy with a beard, and you said it was the Proffer. Is it just the audio recording with the backdrop of some guy with a beard?
So what we did was we had the Proffer audio, we had the interview that I conducted in the studio, and then we had some recreations where we brought an actor and some actors to kind of recreate the setting of the Proffer. And in that, Greg Kading appears. He's visibly in the room, listening to the actor who's playing Mr. Davis.
Oh, I see. So it was just a
reenactment,
dramatization.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you're setting that up and that's happening, that's Greg Kading's direction, right?
Direction.
Meaning that he's telling you here's how everything was, or this is how the room looked, or something along those lines.
To some degree, yeah.
I see what he's trying to do, but instead, it's just giving Little Bill. It's just giving more and more Little Bill, like we're seeing more of the smile. I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is here, but we'll talk about it in a second.
Okay. Now,
there were some camera considerations there too.
And Greg Kading was being paid for his work?
Yes.
Now, he also at some point shares with you, I would assume, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that there was a Proffer, and the Proffer was done in 2008.
Yes.
Now, your project was when again? I'm sorry.
Say that again?
When was your project? When was
2017 is when we filmed. 2018 is when it aired.
Okay. And you're hearing this from Greg Kading, and you understood, I was imagining, based upon the Proffer, that there was an agreement that, hey, he's going to give information, and on that information, he was not going to be prosecuted, right?
Yes.
Was there some condition that would, if there was a violation of that condition, would then cause the Proffer to be made public?
Objection 1 calls for
Yeah, how would he know that? Correct.
Ruled on the admissibility of the Proffer.
Great objection.
It's let me rephrase the question, Judge.
Okay, so I'll sustain the objection and you'll rephrase.
Let me ask you this. So, in terms of your interview, is that a yes?
No. I'm listening.
I know, but once again, when you say I just have to make sure it's clear for the record.
I'm just listening to the question, so it's not a yes.
Okay. In terms of your recollection, was there a reason why, in your recollection, Mr. Davis could give his information to you?
Why he could?
Objection calls for a legal conclusion.
There's no legal.
Why he could?
Are you just asking if he told him, or
Yes.
Okay? If you want to rephrase a little bit.
Did Mr. Davis? Did you ever find out as to why Mr. Davis gave this interview to you in 2017?
Objection speculation.
Sustained.
Did you at any point during the time period ever know if Mr. Davis had violated the terms of his property?
Objection.
Ooh.
Approach.
Keefe. Get roasted over there. Stop grilling the prosecutor. Your lawyer's asking shitty questions. 4 of them in a row. Because at the end of the day, nobody violated the Proffer agreement but you. How is this producer or director going to be responsible for that? You did it. shenanigans, man. I have so many thoughts about this, but 4 objections at the same damn time. Because I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the jury to hear about the fact that, hey, during this production, did anybody care that he was violating his proffer agreement? No, the proffer agreement is between you and the law enforcement people that you set it up with. However, I will give him this. The fact that Greg Kading was a consultant on this project is a little interesting. You guys know, and I mentioned this recently, I got contacted by a company to do a documentary very, very soon. Like we're supposed to actually be filming it on the weekends when I'm not doing this case. And then the production would come out at the start of the year. It's on another, not really cold case. Y'all remember Heather Mack, that little girl that killed her mom and put her in a suitcase in Bali? It's on that case. So they hit me up and, we actually had a few meetings to talk about the documentary process. So I see what they're laying out here for Keefe D, but luckily I can give you guys an idea of what the process is, because I met with the director of the project, but also a producer. And there was one that I dealt with more, and even to the point where how people are being paid on this project is interesting as well, because there are some people that do documentaries that don't get paid. We'll talk about that in a second.
So when you set up, or at least was the director or the producer of the project, at that particular point, all you know is that Mr. Davis is in front of you to give an interview.
Yes.
And when you had an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Davis, you went through an interview, and I want to make sure I'm clear here. Was the interview done in a way where he promised to tell you the truth?
No. I mean, I would assume that he would tell me the truth.
Sure. But once again, though, it's not like you're sitting here right now where you swore to tell the truth that you're under oath.
Correct.
And with regard to the information that you did receive from Mr. Davis, did you at any point verify any of it?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's partly why I had Mike Dorsey in another room.
Sure. So it would be Mike Dorsey and or Greg Kading confirming the information that you are getting from Mr. Davis.
Correct.
Now, in the event, though, that you believe that Mr. Davis was not giving you the information that was consistent with Mr. Kading or Mr. Dorsey's interpretation, what would have happened at that particular point?
Well, I mean, I also conducted 30 plus interviews. So some of those other interviews in the show would corroborate what he said or not.
But once again, I'm asking you specifically about Mr. Davis.
No, I'm saying, I'm talking about Mr. Davis's interview.
Sure.
He provided some details in that interview that I not only did I corroborate those with Mr. Dorsey or Kading, but I interviewed people like Mob James. I interviewed other people who could corroborate certain aspects of his story as well.
Okay, so Mob James, you relied on his credibility, what you learned from him in order to determine that guy's credibility?
No, I'm just saying there's just a big picture. I can't specifically say, this little aspect of it was corroborated by Mark James. I'm just bringing him up as an example.
Sure.
There are many other people that I interviewed as well.
And once again, I want to make sure,
including the 2 authors of the books that I cited earlier.
Right, and that would have been Kathy Scott?
Yeah.
And then also
Ben Westhoff, I think his name is.
Okay. And what you're telling us is that their books corroborated what parts, what details of his representation?
It's too general a question to answer right now from memory.
Well, is there any other way for you to remember it? I mean, did you write anything down in preparation for your testimony here today?
No, but I did prepare for the interview based on what I had read.
Now, in once again, so your recollection is you used Kathy Scott's book and you used the other book as a way for you to determine whether or not Mr. Davis was accurate in what he said?
Just the circumstances of the murder, like who the players were, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
And fair to say,
again, I'm speaking very generally.
Fine, but in terms of the books themselves, were they books in which only you can get a hold of, or were these books accessible by the public?
They're accessible.
You purchased these books.
Of course.
And in terms of the information that you had before you was readily available information either through Greg Kading's book or in terms of Kathy Scott's book or this other person's book?
Could you repeat the question?
The information that you were comparing was information that was readily available in Greg Kading's book, Kathy Scott's book, or this other book you had mentioned before. Ben something, Original Gangsters, the name of the book. Is that yes?
Yes.
Now, after the series had been put together, did you at any point ever ask Mr. Davis to come back and just double check the series before you published it?
No. It's not common practice.
Sure. It's not common practice, meaning you are the one at the end to determine in which direction you want the presentation to go,
yes.
Right? And that's, I would imagine, some type of artistic license giving to you and your people.
Sure, yeah. The subject of the interview agrees to the interview with those conditions generally.
Right.
And there's a release form that that person signs.
And do you know the whereabouts of Tara Long now?
I do not.
Do you know if she's still working in the industry?
Not sure.
Oh, God.
One moment, please, John.
Of course.
Anything else, Keefe, that I should ask him?
Just one final clarification. In the beginning, we talked a little bit about this. I was trying to write it down. Blaze. That very first snippet that we had, it was like
sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel. Okay. Did you conduct? Was that your sizzle reel?
No. I mean, it was for the same project, but it preceded me.
Right. In terms of that sizzle reel, do you know how it was created?
I don't know the circumstances. I know he was brought. That's the studio we shot in, so I'm familiar with where it took place, but I don't know who did it, when it was done, or anything like that.
And so, in terms,
I'm just going to add really quickly that the clip that was shown is sort of a composite between the sizzle reel and then like a.
What the fuck is a blaze reel? Did Keefe write that down? Who wrote it? Who wrote it down? Because remember, he went to go get the notebook from Keefe. He said, "What is a Let me just clarify this. Blaze." We got to go back for that. What's a blaze reel? Can you explain to the jury what a blaze reel is?
That where
in terms of that sizzle reel. Okay. Did you I was trying to write it down. Blaze. That very first snippet that we had, it was like
sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel. Okay. Did you conduct? Was that your sizzle reel?
No. I mean, it was for the same project, but it preceded me.
Right. In terms of that sizzle reel, do you know how it was created?
I don't know the circumstances. I know he was brought. That's the studio we shot in, so I'm familiar with where it took place, but I don't know who did it, when it was done, or anything like that.
And so, in terms,
I'm just going to add really quickly that the clip that was shown is sort of a composite between the sizzle reel and then like a promo that BET actually did for the show. So somebody put that together, unbeknownst to me, or away from my control.
Okay. And so, but you don't know who that was. And is that a no?
No.
And with the way it was filmed and the reels and so forth, you don't have access to those reels at all, either.
Of that sizzle reel?
Yes.
In particular? No, I do not.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if I had asked you this question. I just want to make sure I did or not. The actual contract itself, did you ever see it for yourself?
I did not.
And is it something that you would have signed as the producer or what do they call that? Producer or
showrunner?
Yes.
Is that something that I would have done?
Yes.
In some cases, I have.
But in this case, you did not.
No. It just these are the terms that came with the job.
Right. Was there any residuals here given to Mr. Davis as a result of his interview?
Residuals?
Meaning that, did he get any type of like percentages if
Now that I know of, and that's unlikely for this type of show or project.
Can you tell us how much money was made from the creation of this particular project?
No idea. I'm just a conduit. I make the show, I get paid for my part, and then it gets delivered, and then whatever happens with it, just let it go.
Do you get a percentage of whatever is made in the future on the project?
No. Very rarely I get residuals through my union. I belong to the Directors Guild of America. So sometimes I haven't gotten a check for more than $200 for residuals.
So in this project, you were just paid for your work and no further compensation at all?
Not in the documentary world. It's not something that happens very frequently.
I see. And can you tell us the difference between, like, say, for instance, a documentary on Shark Week versus one that you do?
Those are very different things.
They're both documentaries.
I don't work with animals. No. These are the requirements for that sort of thing. Underwater filming. There's just it's like apples and oranges. If you want to draw a distinction between reality TV and what I do, I think that can be more helpful with that.
Yeah, meaning, so there's reality TV, meaning you're filming a shark doing shark things versus what you do, which is more interpretive.
It's not, I want to be careful about how I answer this.
Sure.
When you're just in nature looking at an animal, there's interpretation too, by the way. There's music added to it. There's other components that would fall into the category of artistic, artistic input. I would say the same is true of documentaries like this, but they're rooted in wanting to present something that's real and accurate, and that's the school I came from.
But once again, that's an intention. Is that always the case?
Sometimes it isn't. It's certainly my intention.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank God.
Any redraft, Mr. Paul or Mr. It was you, Mr. Joe.
Thank you, Judge. No, thank you.
Jury?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, hang on 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? Okay, we have a couple.
Jury's on fire.
Parties approach.
Yeah, I'm going to explain to you guys how things work in the documentary world, just because I'm about to be on one. But those questions were horrendously bad. Michael Sant, there are some days he has good days, some days he has bad days. This is a little shaky. He started off okay with the witness before this one, but you could tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know the documentary world enough to shape good questions about it. And that's not good for Keefe D's defense, right? You have a person right there. I don't know if that person works with Michael Sand's office, but I see him sitting behind Keefe D almost every day. And notice that with this, he is standing behind Keefe D talking to him. So the jury has a few questions, it sounds like. There's more than one. And in the state of Nevada, the jury can ask the witnesses anything that they want, okay? Typically, it happens around deliberation time. They will send back a list of questions. They will get answered. But in Nevada, things are done a little bit differently. As far as I know, my assistant wrote out all the questions leading up to day 4, and we had 15 of them from this jury so far. Today, we had one with the last witness, and we'll see how many we'll get with this one. If they break for lunch, I will give you guys your midday recap. But right now, it is 1:49 Eastern Standard Time, and looks like we're heading in the middle of the morning. They might do a morning break, whatever the case may be. and then I'll continue to break down what you guys missed for the morning. The other thing that we did do, great Art of Dialogue video came out last night, so we reviewed it together, watched it as well, where they went to the crime scene and where two places. One, where Tupac was shot, right? So that intersection. And the second place that they went to was where the BMW came to a final rest. That was 0.8 miles away. And it was really cool because one of the police sergeants that was there that night actually was in the video and took us on the journey of where the car came to a final rest. We also did hear Tupac final words.
If you can answer.
All right, let's keep going.
Did you hand him the 10 to 20K check before the interviews for the series?
No.
How did the film studio obtain the audio recording of the 2008 proffer?
It was given to me by either Mike Dorsey or Brett Katie, I can't remember.
Did Duane Davis have any right to approve or edit what recordings or edits were included in the docuseries?
No.
Was the proffer used to compare or confirm the story Mr. Davis was telling for TV?
Yes.
How was the decision made to use the proffer for TV?
In my case, I just wanted to present as complete a picture as possible. So I used elements that perhaps were missing from the interview that I conducted from the proffer. So I just, it's just little bits that perhaps were not quite clear in what I did, or vice versa.
And so the decision was yours, I think is what you're saying.
The decision was mine, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
State follow-up questions? Defense?
So I just want to make sure, sir, with your last answer, when you felt like something was completely covered, you used the proffer to help you with that presentation?
Then I felt that something was not completely covered, yes. I used the proffer.
So not necessarily.
Hold on, guys. I just want to make sure I'm getting my notes accurate. I missed question 4, so I'm going back 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds.
From the interview that I conducted.
Was the proffer used to compare or confirm the story Mr. Davis was telling for TV?
That's the one.
Yes.
How was the decision made to use the proffer for TV?
In my case, I just wanted to present as complete a picture as possible. So I used elements that perhaps were missing from the interview that I conducted from the proffer. So I just, it's just little bits that perhaps were not quite clear in what I did, or vice versa.
And so the decision was yours, I think is what
The
you're saying.
decision was mine, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
State follow-up questions? Defense?
So I just want to make sure, sir, with your last answer, when you felt like something was completely covered, you used the proffer to help you with that presentation?
Then I felt that something was not completely covered, yes. I used the proffer.
So not necessarily his own words in the interview, but rather something that was in the proffer recording.
It's the same thing, it's his own words.
I understand, but I'm just saying that the timeline here, you're talking about the interview that occurs in 2017 versus the proffer that was given in 2008.
Correct. Yeah.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Diaz, for being with us. Have a good day. You're excused. I think the next thing we're going to do is listen to the which year?
2009.
The 2009 interview. Does anyone need to take a restroom break before we do that from the jury? We do. Okay. So at this time, we will take a restroom break. We'll do 15 minutes. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report of or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. Thanks for waiting for that. The Nevada Supreme Court says I have to do it. So we'll see you guys back here now at 11:05. Please rise to the jury.